Who's actually going to get the most out of the Janome Horizon Memory Craft 9410QC? If you're a hobbyist who's finally ready to graduate from a basic mechanical machine, if you're a quilter who needs a roomy work surface and precise stitch control, or if you're simply wondering whether the price tag makes sense for a machine you'll use a few times a month, those are the questions we'll answer today. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking at mid-range sewing machines, the biggest hesitation I felt was the classic, too many features I'll never use versus the risk of paying for a machine that will sit idle. I've talked to a lot of people who bought a high-end machine on impulse, only to discover that the learning curve and extra accessories ended up being more of a hassle than a benefit. The Janome Horizon 9410QC sits right in the sweet spot where those concerns meet reality. It offers a solid set of conveniences for serious makers, but it also carries a size and price that can feel intimidating for casual stitchers. Let's walk through the everyday experience of setting this machine up in a small home studio. Unboxing the bundle. You get the main unit, a quilting ruler foot, a free arm attachment, and a drop feed conversion plate, all neatly packed. The machine itself is fairly heavy, about 45 pounds, so you'll need a sturdy table or a dedicated sewing cabinet. The first thing I noticed was the built-in full-intensity lighting. It's not just a single lamp. There are 3 adjustable LEDs that flood the fabric area with even light, which is a real game-changer when you're working with dark quilting cotton or intricate piecing. You can tilt the lights to eliminate shadows without having to rearrange your work surface. One of the most practical strengths is the superior needle threader too. If you've ever spent minutes wrestling with a tangled thread, you'll appreciate that this little device guides the thread through the eyelet with a single push, and it works for both standard and larger quilting needles. Coupled with the one-step needle plate conversion, changing from a regular sewing plate to the quilting plate is almost effortless. Just lift the plate, slide the new one in, and you're ready to go. For anyone who switches between garment sewing and large-scale quilting, that flexibility cuts down on downtime. The stitch library is another area where the Horizon shines for the right audience. With 300 built-in stitches, including 11 buttonhole styles and a Stitch Composer PC software package, you have enough variety to experiment without needing to buy extra stitch files. I tried the decorative leaf stitch for a summer dress hem, and the software let me adjust the density and length on my laptop before sending the pattern straight to the machine. That level of customization is a big plus for designers who like to fine-tune every detail. Now, let's talk about the quilting-specific features that set this model apart from a standard sewing machine. The bed space extends an extra 11 inches to the right of the needle, which gives you room to maneuver large quilt tops without constantly stopping to reposition the fabric. When I placed a 50-inch quilt sandwich on the table, I could quilt a full row of stitches before needing to roll the material. The ruler foot that comes with the bundle works like a built-in measuring guide. You slide it along the fabric and the machine stitches precisely to the marked line. For a quilter who values accuracy, that eliminates the need for a separate quilting ruler and reduces the risk of misaligned seams. However, the Horizon isn't without trade-offs. The biggest practical weakness is the learning curve. Those 300 stitches and the software are powerful, but they also mean a steeper onboarding process compared to a simpler mechanical machine. The control panel is digital, with a small LCD that can feel cramped when you're trying to scroll through stitch options while your hands are busy threading. If you're a beginner who just wants to sew a few buttonholes and simple seams, you'll likely spend more time watching tutorial videos than actually stitching. Another point to consider is the footprint. The machine's width, combined with the extra quilting bed space, can dominate a standard kitchen table. If you don't have a dedicated sewing area, you might find yourself rearranging furniture just to fit the unit and its accessories. The price tag reflects not just the hardware, but also the bundled extras, so it's a significant investment. For someone who only quilts once a year, the cost may not justify the added features. So who should buy this machine? If you're an intermediate to advanced sewer who already owns a basic machine and is looking to expand into quilting, the Horizon offers the tools you need without stepping up to a true industrial-grade unit. Its lighting, needle threader, and quick-change quilting plate make day-to-day quilting smoother, and the software gives you creative freedom that hobbyists love. It's also a solid choice for small business owners who create custom garments or home decor and need that stitch variety.